Hi, I'm Fight, and today I want to talk about the second week of the 12 block with my coach. This is the first video where I'm going to talk about the whole week all at once, and I think this is going to change a little bit what I'm going to talk about. So I'm not so much going to talk about the individual exercises that you see, and more about the week in general and how it was. So something that was kind of remarkable was that the week itself went pretty well. So I had some major successes. I'm just going to spoil them. You're going to see them later on. I did my first muscle up. I did a 135 kilogram squat. I did a 170 kilogram deadlift without straps and some other things. The easiest 32.5 kilograms ever have moved in a chinup. So, like a bunch of good things. But I also did some very stupid stuff. Just because I felt pretty strong, and so I overdid a bunch of things. And I think that that's not out of the ordinary. So, especially early on in a block when I feel still pretty well rested and I feel like I can do what I need to do and more, I tend to do a lot of stupid stuff, and then later on in the block, I tend to regret it. So, an example of this would be for the 135 kilogram squat. I wasn't super happy with the depth, and then I tried it again, and I wasn't super happy with that either, so I went in for another rep, so double. And the gym was very full, and I felt very watched, and I wasn't in it with my whole mind, and I just failed the rep, right? Um, and that was just entirely unnecessary. I don't think that I failed it because I was in any way too weak necessarily, but I just failed it because I wasn't focused anymore. And it wasn't planned either. So instead of 135, which is already pretty heavy for what it's supposed to be, I did 3, or I did 2 and then attempted a third one. It was just unnecessary, just because I wasn't happy with that. Instead of coming in, here you can see the one where I'm not happy with that. Instead of coming in next week and saying, hey, you need to focus on depth, maybe I even pull the weight back a little bit. I just, the ego takes me to this place where I need to attempt it instead, which is entirely unnecessary. Nonetheless, I mean, it's kind of cool, like 135 is more than I've ever lifted, so that's cool. And that I can do it repeatably is also nice. Yeah, so, bunch of things like that happened. Same with the muscle up. I did that on a day where I wasn't even supposed to high pull, just did it because I felt strong. And on the ring muscle up day, where ring muscle ups don't go so well at the moment, like they're always a grind, I am doing ring routines, like sloppy. They're not pretty, but I kind of do them because they're fun. And, that's just not discipline, and that's not an adult way of going about it. My training is auto-regulated, so I come in and I have an RPE in mind, and whatever fits that RPE, I'm supposed to hit, and especially with signals at the beginning where I'm supposed to hit an RPE, I can't do this shit. I can't have ego kind of limiting my progression. I have to be honest with myself and say, hey, I could have done 3 more, or hey, this was a little too hard, too heavy. Let's, reassess. And it's not bad if I'm overshooting RPE by like 1 or whatever, unless the RPE is 0, in which case if I overshoot by 1, I'm basically going beyond failure and probably failing a rep. But if and a failed rep here or there, or an overshot RPE isn't a problem, but I can't do it almost on purpose, or I can't set it up so that I do it a lot. And so I have to learn that a little bit better. But other than that, I mean, I'm pretty happy with how this week turned out, right? There's some really good stuff there. You already saw like the kind of shitty ring routine. Here's the heavy pull, and then 22.5 kilos for 5 isn't like super heavy, but it's decent. It's getting there. And next up, you'll see like a heavy dip, 50 kilograms. I haven't done heavy dips in a while. And so 50 kilograms actually feels pretty heavy, although it shouldn't be. Like, this should be easy for me. And it kind of was, but I don't think that my max is that much higher at the moment, and I don't know whether that's a strength thing. I hope not. I hope it's just I need to get back into dips. Yeah, so this one is also nice to set before I get back into the narrative, because here I tried doing the front lever, like kind of lowerings and raises, the pulls, in a TRX, and that just doesn't work. You get pulled in all directions, the TRX itself rotates. I mean, TRXs really are objectively just worse than rings in almost every respect. So that's kind of fun. Yeah. But I think that in a lot of ways, like the way I approached this week, in broad strokes, often was great. Like, I hit the RPE fine on a lot of top sets, like the dips, like the chin-ups, like the sumo deadlifts, and then the back off sets went well. But in some of them, um, I just did stupid stuff, like the squats, and I just shouldn't do that. I should learn from these mistakes now, and I hope that I don't have to come here next week and say, hey, I did it again. I did something stupid, right? So I'm just hoping that, um, despite the fact that I got rewarded for my stupidity with my first muscle up, and it's not a pretty muscle up, but it is a muscle up, um, that I'm learning from this, the right lesson. So, I guess that's all I have, but I have about a minute more of footage, so let me ramble about what you're seeing right there, which is the last day. So I'm now doing all my squats with knee sleeves, which feels kind of weird but kind of fun. I got them for Christmas and I'm trying them out, and it's kind of fun. It's probably also the reason why low bar back squats like went so well. Like the 135, that was probably a lot was the knee sleeves. Um, and here too in the 92 and a half, that has never moved, that easy paused. Um, but I also just think that my movement quality gets a little bit better when my knees feel stronger. So I'm a little bit torn whether I should use them in like the hypertrophy work. Let me know if you have any input on that, because I'm really interested. Here's my muscle up, and I guess that's all I have. So, see you around. Thank you.